Polygon's MATIC looks like it is ready for a huge surge to the upside. Guys, in this video, we're going to dive into the world of Polygon and specifically talk about the price action of MATIC. As we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏. With this said, done and out of the way, let's dive down into Polygon here and take a look at what's going on with the price action of MATIC. Now guys, we're going to start things off with our daily chart here and really talk about the kind of price action that's been going on recently and what we could expect to see happen just next with MATIC. Now obviously guys, as we have spoken about previously, we have got a cup and handle pattern. I'm going to quickly just draw this back out for you guys so you can see exactly what that looks like. So basically from about the 3rd of June, we have our cup actually forming, and again the right hand side was about the 5th of September. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly draw that on here so we can see exactly what that looks like. And then obviously we have the handle. The handle's still forming, but basically we take that from our area just there. Let's get the handle on here. Let me just get that there, and then pull this down to the bottom. Right, so here we have our cup and handle pattern. Okay, so basically here's our cup, okay, formed nicely, a good arc to it, and again comes all the way right back to the top here on the 5th of September. Then we start to form the handle, and we have good progress to completing this handle right now, just coming up to the right hand side here, finding resistance on $1.65, okay, finding that resistance and pulling back down and finding support on $1.52. We'll get into those kind of moves in a moment on the smaller time frames. But basically, as you can see, we're approaching the top of our handle on the right hand side. That comes in at 185. From there, we have a good surge to the upside where we target $2.52, again above the 618, the 702, and the 786, that $1.90, $2.08, $2.25. These are the key areas on the Fibonacci chart. Okay, once we get past these areas, we are then going to be looking for a huge surge to the upside overall, right? Okay, so once we go past the previous high of $2.70, once we go past our 252, and we're basically talking about price discovery, okay? And from there, we are talking about moving up nicely to the 1.618. This comes in at $3.98. The 2.618, $6.06. The 3.618 comes in at $8.15. And then the full 4.236 extension comes in at $9.43. So by the end of the bull run, we do anticipate that 510% move from the current position of $1.54 up to $9.43. And that will be driven from a shortage of supply and a huge amount of demand. Okay, so as things really heat up, that's the expectation. And again, that's pretty much in line with the expectations of what is going to be going on with Ethereum. As Ethereum heats up nicely, MATIC and Polygon's network is going to heat up nicely with it as people try to avoid paying those ridiculously high gas fees. And obviously, as we start to see that, things are going to heat up quite nicely and move to the upside overall. So we have a good pattern forming here, guys, a good way to kind of see exactly what is going on here when it comes to MATIC now, and ultimately good progress, right? So we obviously are looking to complete this handle, go up to our target of $2.52. Now, it's at this point we have to acknowledge what else is going on in the background, and for that we're going to come over to the advice.io dashboard. Advice.io use artificial intelligence and machine learning to help us understand the underlying value of cryptocurrencies. It's completely free to use. There's a link in the description down below. Do sign up and you won't regret getting this level of information about your cryptocurrency investments. As we come on down, we can see that MATIC here is a B1 rating overall. Okay, so generally it has a B1 rating on the platform. Obviously, this is broken down into some key areas, something that advice.io call power factors. As we come on down, we have the AMI-HAD ratio, a rating of D. Now, the AMI-HAD ratio is liquidity, okay? So, like VeChain, like Cardano, like many other altcoins in the space, there are some liquidity-based problems. What is unclear is why there are liquidity-based problems. Is this a centralized exchange causing problems with withdrawals and deposits, or is this decentralized exchanges that have been hit hard with liquidity-based problems as people have panic sold, etc. during the month of September? I am not 100% certain, but there is something going on in the background here, and it's important that we acknowledge that it exists. This will make buying and selling MATIC ever so slightly more difficult than it has been previously. Of course, if you found a good way of actually buying up MATIC or selling MATIC and trading it successfully, then you're probably not going to find any problems. I think this is going to be limited to some exchanges overall, so it's going to be important that we try to figure out where that's actually coming from. But overall, that's the problem with the AMI-HAD ratio right now, and there are problems with liquidity. Now, as we come over, we have a fear and greed index. Now, this is not the Bitcoin fear and greed index that you see everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. This is the artificial intelligence machine learning driving a fear and greed index for MATIC specifically. And obviously, advice.io, they can get a fear and greed index driven for any altcoin and cryptocurrency that they have on their platform. Now, this fear and greed index is an A1. You can see how we were in extreme fear pretty much through September and early stages of October. And right now, we've actually flipped this to extreme greed. So right now, everything's looking incredibly greedy for Polygon's MATIC. Now, obviously, when we go into an extremely greedy scenario, this is usually when seasoned professionals, those day traders, would actually be looking to take profits. They buy the fear when it's down nice and low, and they sell and it's greedy, okay? For the most part, retail investors will actually have confidence in the market when things go greedy and they start FOMOing in, chasing those green candles. This is why you actually start to see us actually up in the greedy area for a period of time, but we acknowledge that a crash will eventually come in to correct that and take it down into a fearful situation, shake out those retail investors as those professionals go and buy the fear up again. Okay, so it's important that we acknowledge that we are just entering this greedy area and things are going to be pretty good for a while, but just bear in mind that when it's greedy, profits are usually taken. As we come on down, we have a Sharpe ratio, an A2 rating. Above the 50-day average, this Sharpe ratio is indicating that the rewards outweigh the risks, and therefore some exposure to MATIC might be actually something that we want to do. So again, pretty much in line with that extremely greedy scenario, we actually have a Sharpe ratio that's saying, yeah, you might want to hold some MATIC right now. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Chris is not a financial advisor, and it's important that you do your own research. In doing that research, you might actually use the advice.io dashboard, use some of these metrics and come to the same conclusions that I do, which is that actually when the rewards outweigh the risks, you might want to make sure you have some exposure to MATIC. Obviously, when you're in an extremely greedy situation, it's not the best time to actually be buying. But that being said, you might be able to dollar cost average a good position on those occasional dips that you do see. So obviously use these metrics to your advantage where you can. As we come on down, we have the moving averages. This is an A2, so everything's looking very good from a moving average perspective as well. And again, that can be seen from the charts. The profitability is up there as an A1 cryptocurrency rating. So again, obviously with huge profits being driven, I think it was over 52,000%. When to put that into context, Bitcoin only drove 1,600, Ethereum 5,000%. So to see 52,000% for Polygon's MATIC in the same time period obviously makes this incredibly profitable. So everything's looking pretty good from this underlying data, and it is indicating that a good surge to the upside is very likely. As we come back to the charts, we can obviously review that cup and handle and say, yep, we're probably going to complete that cup and handle pattern, move into $2.52. There's a high probability of that. Obviously, when it comes to these cup and handles, they are, of course, only 60 to 70% accurate, okay? So therefore, we can deviate away from them, but right now, I think the probability of completing it is actually higher. So I'd like to think that we are heading to that $2.52 zone. Now, let's actually jump down into our hourly view and view what's going on most recently with MATIC. Right here, we can see that nice surge to the upside, finding resistance up here at $1.63, bit and pulled back down to find support on $1.52, and then finding resistance up at $1.60 again. Okay, now what's interesting about this is the stochastic is now in this lower area as we find support on $1.52. Okay, this is going to now allow us to grow to the upside, and as we saw from the sentiment on the advice.io, it's incredibly greedy, which means when we throw these volumes on, what you can see is all of this green volume coming in, pushing the price to the upside. And then once you're overbought and you need a correction, the volume drops all the way down and basically protects the price. Right now, we're looking to bring this volume back up with good buying volume again, taking us to those next levels, potentially taking us above our 50% retracement zone. on that journey to the top of our handle, where we'll then go ahead and have a huge surge past the 618, 702, 786 and go after the $2.52. Now, ultimately, I think it's going to take probably a few weeks, a week, maybe even 2 weeks to get up to that $2.52 zone. But until we get there, we should be expecting to find resistance and support on several of these key areas on the chart. Okay, so obviously pushing past $1.60, $1.63, moving past the main Fibonacci 50% retracement zone of $1.65, and of course heading up to that $1.86, the top of our handle here, is going to be, you know, a bit of a journey in itself. Once we're there and past all of these areas, the main battle of the 618, the 702, the 786 are going to be an area that we see consolidation as well. Overall, though, as we think about the short-term moves, we are anticipating a surge to the top of our handle, probably within the next few days, and then from there, it's all a way up to those new highs that we are talking about. Okay, so we'll be talking about pushing into that 618, 702, 786, and this is the $1.90, $2.08, and $2.25. Getting past all that resistance and pushing up to our target of $2.52, and then going into new all-time highs. And of course, eventually, by the end of the bull run, seeing 510% in gains and a $9.43 MATIC token. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there, but if you have found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.